Patrons, thanks again for your support on here. And I'm back with another one of these 360 behind the scenes videos from one of my photo shoots, my most recent one that I just did 3 days ago with the men's basketball team here at the University of South Carolina. So I set up my 360 cam and thought I would record some behind the scenes. I thought that went pretty well from the football video and got some good response. So if y'all like these videos, please let me know in the comments here on Patreon, and you can comment on the video too if you'd like. I've got a NHL shoot all next week, so if I get some positive feedback, I'll make sure to bring my 360 cam and do the same thing there on set with the NHL players. So a couple of housekeeping items, I guess, here on Patreon. The Justin King interview is still coming, but we had some scheduling conflicts and just trying to line that up. So I know there's some new patrons on here. If you go back, I guess it's 2 posts from probably this one. If you want to leave a question in those comments there, if you read that post, leave a question there. I've yet to record it, so that is still live. The rest of y'all as well. If you'd like to place a question there, please do. And when I sit down with Justin, we'll run through some of those, and I'll probably do a video for YouTube, and then probably have some added on content for y'all here on Patreon. So I got some good content coming just for y'all. This 360 stuff, I'm just pretty much going to keep it here on Patreon. And of course, y'all can ask me questions in the comments and DMs on this site. All right, so get through all that. And let's jump into this photo shoot. This is kind of a standard shoot that I'll do with the team. This will be, as you'll see, I'll do some stuff on a white backdrop, and then we had a secondary set with the Pro Light mods, and the white backdrop will be probably for like their team poster, some cutouts or graphics and stuff like that, and then they'll use some of this stuff for fun stuff, plus the players love these shots with the mods, and that just kind of, it's just kind of, I guess, a good fun thing to do on a photo shoot with the guys, so they have a blast. We didn't start this shoot until, I want to say 6 o'clock at night, and everyone there thought that the guys would be in and out, but they were having too much fun. I didn't get home till about 11 o'clock, I don't think, that evening. So anyway, let's get into it. I'm gonna get my screen record going, and we will just take a look here at my setup. So as I mentioned, I've got 2 different setups going. This is the white backdrop setup that I mentioned, and these will be used for the cutouts and poster and just other graphics that the marketing and media department will use during the season. And this was a really simple setup. I actually just used 3 lights on this setup. So I've got my fill light here, which is the 7-inch. Let's see if I can zoom back out. Here we go. So this is the 7-foot umbrella here. You can see this nice facility. This is their practice facility here, by the way. The men's and the national champion women's team both practice in here, and they've got some cool banners going on. So, and they've got 2 full courts. But anyway, let me get back to it. 7-foot umbrella for my fill light. For my main, or I guess a lot of people like to call it key light, is my Boom Beauty Dish right here, getting in kind of close with our players. And then what I want to do is place a kind of an edge or a rim light opposite this light here. And I used a small, this is the 43-inch Westcott umbrella, silver umbrella here. And this is not like a typical lighting setup, but I just felt like trying something a little bit different just to mix things up. Both for them and for myself, just to keep things interesting. I did place this back a good bit. The players, let's see where my mark is. I don't know if you quite see it. I believe it's right there. So they're fairly close to the backdrop here. That way we can kind of play off of some shadowing if they want to keep that in the graphic. Sometimes they like that. It's kind of a little bit of maybe an urban feel. And so having done that and having the guys that close to the backdrop, I had to kind of swing that light more around behind them. I'm just very observant of the light coming across their face as a edge or rim, and if it's hitting their nose, sometimes that can be distracting. So that's kind of what I'm trying to avoid here. So it's this probably a third of that umbrella is actually probably tucked behind the backdrop there. So this is this setup. Let's go ahead and play. I'm probably going to turn my volume down just because they were playing music and I don't want to get any kind of copyright thing. So I was doing some action type stuff with our guy here and getting him to kind of dribble across the backdrop here. And you can see right there. So it's basically I was kind of catching his maybe like a crossover dribble in first couple steps across this backdrop. And we'll take a look. I'll show you some of the results of that. And so there we go again right there. So the first time he went across, I can't play the volume here. First time he went across, he was looking down at the floor. So I told him, let's do it again. Just bring your eye line up. And so this second time when he came back across here, he was looking up, which looks better in the pictures. And I'll find that's fairly common the first time through because I'm making the guys aware of the mark that I want them to cross over because that's where the best light is. So don't be surprised at the first time when they do something, they're kind of paying attention to that mark. And the second time, it's a lot more natural. So let's jump over here to bridge. And I mean, so these are right out of camera here. And that's from that second go through. So I'm going to back up. You can see that right here, he's kind of looking down a little bit more. And so the second time I have him bring his eyes up, and that makes for a much better photograph if you ask me. So those are those action shots there. Let's go back to the 360. All right, so I'm going to scoot ahead to our next guy that'll come up, and you can just kind of see, well, we'll look at these too. So what I'm doing here is I'm getting some tighter type stuff, letting him kind of do whatever he wants to do a little bit. Just so they have fun. My tethering station is right here behind me, so the guys can see exactly what we're capturing. And he comes over, zoom back out, and so he'll come over and take a look along with the rest of the guys that are here at the photo shoot. And so here we are, just kind of reviewing what we captured from that setup. And then I'll show you our next guy. And this is kind of how you scoot forward. So they had these new hoodies too. So we did some shots with these new hoodies right here. And so these are kind of uptight, just getting close shots. You can see there. Just kind of, framing out some tight stuff with those hoodies. And I think I got my next guy here, and this is kind of how we normally start and just get these. I'll get down fairly low, and I'm telling them that I'm going to get both angles and kind of straight at camera. They can do a mix of smiles and serious faces kind of based off of what they're wanting for the season. And then they got some behind the scenes guys here getting some background stuff, and I think they just told them they wanted some serious faces. But so this is the general lighting setup. I don't want to stay here all day, bore y'all to death with this, but let's see if I can zoom back out. So this is the kind of setup. Let me get out. All right, here we go. So 3 lights on this first setup, and we'll go in. Let's look again at some of the results here in bridge. So these are some of the examples of the tighter stuff that I was doing. Those hoodie shots. You can see where I'm that rim light. As I mentioned, I had it tucked behind, so I'm not getting any highlights. Just a little bit right here on his nose, but nothing too distracting with what's going on here. So same type setup in our next guy, getting all the different angles that they'll use. And then I get up and get some tighter stuff, doing just some action type stuff. whenever at least with basketball, I don't know, I guess most of the other sports too, when you start the kind of faux action type stuff, they always go straight to the camera. I always try to make it a point to have them kind of angle in different directions as well. And that just gives you and them much more to pull from the future. So having him look off camera, some guys are a little more natural at it than others. So that's kind of that first setup. So let's jump back in here to the 360 cam. We're gonna go to this one here. And we're gonna go to my second setup, which was using the light mods. We'll go through this setup. So what I did is I rolled this light over from the other set. So I'm using this light, and then behind me I've got my fill light again back here. So I'm pulling these two lights from that first setup. So I'm using two lights from the 3 light setup on the white background. And then I've got 6 modifiers, so that's 6 more lights. These were, once again, I used the Godox 8400s. And then I've got Pro Photos here on these stands with the reflectors here. So we'll just play this. We got the smoke machine here coming up, bringing the smoke. And then I'll have our players kind of walk through the smoke. I believe this is like the charge ring set up there. And so I was having them come to the edge of that, maybe a little bit forward of that. And here I'm moving around, getting different angles, trying to play with the composition of those lights behind our players. And so there's really no set parameters on what I'm trying to capture here on this part of the set. Very similar to like football. I mean, this is just kind of capturing cool stuff that they can use during the season, that the players are probably they might already have them out on their social accounts. And so we did some stuff with the ball, some stuff without the ball. And as you see, I'm moving around. I'm going up and down. I'm going left and right. Everything's coming over. Can't really see it. Of course, everyone loves to block the computer screen, but my tether station is right there. And so we got some really, really neat stuff. This, by the way, is so he's all excited. This is the best part about using these mods. Look, he wants people to come over and take a look at them. So that is the magic of using something like this or that other backlit backdrop. The guys love them, and it creates that experience on set that I've mentioned so many times with these. I don't want to beat that dead horse too much, but you could see the joy he had on that. And let's go back here and we'll take a look at some of those images. All right, so here we are. This is some of those images there, just kind of straight out of camera. See, these are the ones that we had with the ball. And I'm changing my camera angles, as I mentioned. I'm changing the height adjustment. I'm going left, going right, and I'm just kind of playing around with how these boxes would fit in the frame. Going wide, going tight. Just changing up the composition as much as possible. And then this was kind of that last frame before he turned around and ran to the computer. All right, I don't want to ruin this next part, but let's jump ahead to, so then what we want to do, this is probably he's one of the top recruits in the country this past recruiting cycle. So he's kind of a big deal, so they wanted to do a little extra with him, and I thought this would be fun to show y'all. All right, so they wanted to do some, let me show back up a little bit. So we're going to do some dunking stuff with the lights kind of behind the basket. So another thing I've kind of noticed with people is when you have people jump in your shots, if you leave your lighting where it is for them standing on the court, they're going to jump kind of out of the lighting. So here I am, raising up like this key light here, preparing for him to be kind of right at rim level. So, and I'm moving it in closer. I'm going to run over here. I'm going to raise this reflector, as you can see there. and this one over here. All right, so now we have everything set, and he's getting ready to go here. And let me see if I can back it out. Here we go, just a little bit. All right, and I'm getting set with the camera, so you see me, I'm following him. And then he's gonna come over here and look at and get all excited at the results. So that's a lot of fun. And we did a couple more. Let me jump over here. I'm gonna show y'all so we don't go an hour in this video. Let's go, fast forward through these. All right, so here's the second one where he comes in. And so we got some really cool stuff. You saw me raise the lights, and he went in, did his thing. We got the smoke with the lights there. He came back and we did another one where he just wanted to jump up and kind of do that face in front of the basket, and then one more dunk there. And so these are all straight out of the camera. I can pull those into Photoshop and kind of take them probably to the next level, but really have a great foundation to work with here with a lot of these images. So I thought I would share this this behind the scenes with y'all. This is like I did last time, a Patreon exclusive, full behind the scenes from this shoot. So if you like this type of stuff, please let me know in the comments below. And as I mentioned, I'll be on the road next week with the NHL's Carolina Hurricanes, and I can for sure do the same thing if y'all would like to see some more of this type of content. So y'all let me know. Once again, thanks again for the support on here, and I will see y'all in the next one.